Guess who's back again. Hey, Boston has entered the chat, is back again. I couldn't do it on beat, but it still worked. Travis Thomas here with George Valecki, here inside the plush, palatial PNC Bank studio.
Soliloquies, I love it. Plush, palatial. I didn't know where you were going to go with that. You went off rhythm.
I know.
Oh, we actually got it for
Well,
once.
I was with it, and then I thought about, like, okay, how do I fit Boston? I could have did the chat. But it's not called the chat. It's called Boston has entered the chat.
But they can join the chat by emailing the chat at nesson.com. Call in
the chat at nesson.com.
790
Keep going.
0928. You know what I saw?
What?
A Google comment that says we talk over each other a ton.
I think we do.
Yeah. All right. So
I think we do.
You know, I'm calling myself out.
I was saying that.
Look, as we're talking each other.
I just think that.
Do I ever talk over you?
I just think you should hear me out sometimes.
Okay.
Is there any more you'd like to say?
No.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You have to understand how I was feeling at the time. I only talk over George because I can't get a word in edgewise because George talks so much. So when he's done talking, he takes a breath, I jump in. What would you say to that?
I think you give me my
listen,
time.
Here's the deal.
I hate
you. When you watch the show, just let us run it and you enjoy
let us go. Because it was a really good World Series preview that we did. Someone commented. I was like, do I? We
might. Well, it's because we argue, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're not arguing,
it's more of go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But when we're going at it.
Oh, yeah. We're cutting each other off.
Yeah, it's on. Coming up.
So that's where.
Did you want to?
No,
Was there more?
You're good.
Okay. Coming up.
I just love being on the chat with you.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Okay. Coming up, Jerod Mayo addressed the media today. We'll tell you the latest in that. Plus, the rich get richer, GB. We'll break down the Chiefs' newest weapon. And don't miss our preview. I think that said it all of tonight's game between the Vikings and Rams. But let's start with Jerod Mayo. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, George, I'm going to lean on you here because I saw you taking such copious notes during this press conference. And I know I'm a drama king because all I was listening for was for the coach to put his foot in his mouth yet again. Mm-hmm. We didn't get it here. It was very, dare I say, George, it felt kind of Belichickian. It was very much like we're on to Cincinnati, except in this case, it was we're on to the Jets. Jerod Mayo didn't want any parts of this press conference in terms of, well, you said this, and then you walked back that, but then did you mean this, and what did you say here?
Yep.
I mean, it was very much buttoned up. Clearly, someone got to him and was like, hey, man, like, we're being too honest, too transparent. We gotta dial this back a bit. What were your takeaways from this press conference?
Well, as you said, the Patriots are the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Santa Claus cut off the toy shop. Like, he's done. Because Jerod Mayo comes out, but this is where I give him credit. Stopped addressing the soft comments, like, sat down right away, and basically here were the 4 key ones. It's really moving on to the Jets.
Okay.
We're on to the Jets today.
Wow.
Guys are preparing like it's any other week, and we're preparing for the Jets. It's on to the Jets, and that's what we're going to do. And for as critical of we have been of him, right? Burn some cash, walked it back.
Yep.
Drake May outplayed Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby outplayed Drake if you go back to minicamp when it doesn't matter.
Judon acting the fool on the practice field.
Yeah, let him talk, and then they talk, and he walks that back. And then also, well, they're soft, but they're not soft. He's finally just letting it go and going with it. We're moving on to the Jets. Anytime he's asked about soft comments, which is growth. Mm-hmm. And it's marginal, it's small, but part of being a head coach is knowing how to handle the media, knowing how not to put your foot in your mouth. And as we've taken, especially from the criticism that I picked up from Tom Brady, Devin McCourty, and Ty Law to be outspoken, those guys speak up and call out the head coach because they're saying, you don't talk like that in the media. You could talk to us like that to our faces, but not in public. You're coming from the player perspective. He's finally not doing it. So growth is what we call Jerod Mayo today. We'll see if it's consistent, though, and that's the thing for me.
Well, listen, bro, like, that's why, you know that saying, winning cures everything, right? Mm-hmm. Has there been a coach that needs a win more than Jerod Mayo? Like, honestly, and who the hell knows? The Jets, I get it. Like, defensively, really every metric you look at, they're better than the Patriots. But they're reeling right now. I mean, they don't believe in their interim coach.
Yeah.
What has he done besides nothing since he took over? They blame Robert Saleh for all their problems, but they stink. Rodgers looks washed to me. I just, like, they're reeling. So even though this is now deja vu for us,
Yeah.
how many weeks have we said, well, this feels like a coin flip game with the Patriots. The Dolphins don't have any quarterback. They should win this, and they lost. Well, it's London, and the Jaguars are going to fire their coach. They lost. So I'm not going there this week of this is a coin flip game. My arse. Okay, this team can't beat anyone. But I say all that to say the Jets are reeling. And so, man, Jerod Mayo needs a win so bad this week. Do you know what a win would do for him right now in that locker room in particular to go out, get a divisional win against a rival and just get this bad taste out of their mouth that they've had since week one? With that being said, I just think he's going to have to continue this coach speak that he probably should have been doing the whole time. I think he's going to have to continue this after this game and just be like, we're on to the next team and not give anyone any bulletin board material because what the hell else can he say? I mean, when he's too honest, it blows up in his face. We're soft. Well, you better stand on that because if not, now it's going to be a problem. And he didn't stand on it, and it was a problem, right?
And the funny thing is he wasn't wrong calling them soft.
He was right.
They've been run all over.
Yes.
Ever since that Thursday night game against the Jets. It was the Jets. It was Jordan Mason. It was the Dolphins. It was just what we saw, them getting gashed up and down by the Jaguars.
Yeah.
It was nonstop week by week, them just getting run all freaking over.
Yep.
But it's just stick with it. Or at the same time, as we saw today, don't say it publicly. Go up there and go to the podium. We didn't play well today at all. As Bill Belichick would always say, you can count it once a season, multiple times. Outcoached, outplayed, out-executed. And he goes, but that's on coaching. That's on us getting prepared. But he'd always say that. You can say that instead of the soft. What did jump out to me, though, is he was asked, he's like, the guys in the locker room can fix it.
Yeah.
And then there was an ask of, well, do you have to change philosophically what you do on defense? And he said, quote, the players that we have in that locker room right now are the players that are capable and have done a good job against a run. I tell the players no matter what, I don't have a crystal ball, but we have to be sound on every play. We have to be sound on every play. So he's not saying, I have to adjust as a coach.
Yeah.
We have to be sound on every play.
He's been saying that.
You guys have to listen to my coaching. But he's not saying I need to change something.
He's been doing that, though. And you and I have talked about that. He's pointing fingers. No, like the whole execution thing and all that. So, yes, to your point, this presser feels like, okay, relax on calling people out and doing all this and that.
But
keep it focused on the Jets.
Yeah.
But there is no, this is all on me. And we've yet to really, he says it.
Yep.
But then it's almost like a comma. Like my wife gets on me for this. My wife says I'm famous for this.
You are famous.
She is. I hate to use the word taught or trained. Okay. But I've been married a long time, so I'm going to use it. She has trained me to apologize because early iterations of this relationship, it just wasn't happening. But now the new thing is she says, I apologize, and there's a comma. Meaning like, hey, I'm sorry. And it should end there. It should be a period. Well, what I do is, listen, baby.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. But what you have to understand is, right?
Yep, I hear that.
That's what Jerod Mayo's doing.
Yeah.
He'll go to the podium after these games, and he'll say, we failed as a coaching staff. We got to be better as a staff. But, the execution and this team is soft. And it's like, wait a minute, what just happened here? So, obviously, either they're telling him to stop doing that and it's not resonating because clearly with this press conference that we're talking about, he's very singular focused on next team, right? Which wasn't the case. But so they're either telling him, yo, you got to chill with the blame game and it's not registering or he doesn't give a damn, or that is not the messaging. And it's just like, hey, just keep the focus on the Jets. Either way, it's not a good look for Mayo in that sense. We still are not getting the accountability from him, the blame from him, and that's it. No comma involved. Hey, look, I got to be better as a first-year head coach, as a rookie head coach. I would love to hear him say, I'm still learning on the job.
Yeah.
I have to be better, but I'm putting the work in, and so are our guys. By the way, on to the Jets. That's the right way to handle it. It's like we're getting the peanut butter with no jelly yet. You know what I mean?
No one wants any of
That's
that.
dry.
Now, here's the fun one. He was asked about Bill Belichick.
Uh-oh.
So he was asked if he's disappointed that Bill Belichick has taken shots at the Patriots and their process.
Great question.
And quote is from Mike Giardi, institution here in Boston.
Yep.
So obviously he'd ask a good question like that. Quote, my main focus is the guys inside of this building, coach talk. Not only the players, but the coaches and the rest of the staff. As soon as we turn this thing around, we'll be okay. This is where it gets me. The ending part is important. It comes down to wins and losses. That's what it comes down to. That's what you're ultimately judged by.
He's right.
Yes. And did not address, he didn't say, I am disappointed. He didn't say, I'm not disappointed.
He didn't address it.
He didn't say it's all good with Bill. He completely avoided it. But the end part, it comes down to wins and losses. That's what it comes down to. That's what you're ultimately judged by. We haven't seen this team get any closer to getting wins any single week.
They've got worse.
Yes.
They've got worse.
And that's a worse reflection of coaching. No solutions found. The roster is a roster. And we've gone, well, here's the rock you could turn over. You can find this tackle here.
Sure.
You can get this safety here, this linebacker there, that wide receiver there. But the roster is the roster end of the day. Like, there's not going to be any savior because they can't give up draft assets to trade for a player because they need those.
That's right.
And they don't have good enough players to trade away to even get great draft assets. They have the cap space, but no one's out there at this point in the positions that they need. But nonetheless, as bad as this defense has been, as bad as this offense has been outside of Drake May, there's been no improvement week to week. It's the same issues rearing its head around.
Yeah.
The only thing improving is Drake May went from 3 turnovers to 0. But if you look at how much Breece Hall and Braylon Allen ran all over the Patriots, Jordan Mason gashing them as well, Jalen Wright and Raheem Mostert, Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, Tank Bigsby going all over them.
Man.
And then how Ramondre Stevenson and this rushing attack has fallen off. Ramondre Stevenson, by the way, a DNP at practice on Wednesday. So not a good sign. He's not participating. That foot must still be bothering him.
Yeah.
He didn't play in the second half of the third into the fourth quarter. But again, wins and losses, that's what it comes down to. The Patriots aren't getting any closer to wins. And so Bill Belichick can say what he wants. The most damning thing is that they're not getting closer to wins. And that is worse.
Yeah.
So Bill Belichick, are you disappointed what he's saying? What would you say? Well, yeah, I am disappointed because Bill's a mentor. If he said something like that, it'd be like, all right, well, what are you showing for your mentor? You're showing you're not a good coach.
Right.
And you didn't pick up on the lessons he taught you.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's well said. I mean, that's why I said at the top of the show, this press conference from Jerod Mayo felt more Bill Belichickian to me because Bill would have handled this answer the same way.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we're worried about the guys in this locker room. It just would have been lower in tone and less words. It's like, we're worried about the guys in this locker room. I don't care about that. So, I thought he handled this answer the right way.
Yeah, I agree.
But the last line that you keyed in on, so I just think, like, this is going to be on some sort of T-shirt when this guy's fired. Wins and losses, that's what it comes down to. That's what you're ultimately judged by.
Yeah.
And it just, all I'm doing here, George, this is why people say we talk over each other, because I will double and triple and quadruple down.
Yeah, fair.
On Robert Kraft loves this guy. Kumbaya. We all love.
Yeah.
But wins and losses is what you're ultimately judged by.
Yes.
I.e., you're getting worse every week. If you win 1 or 2 games in this league, you're fired.
And it's beyond the wins and losses. If they get closer and being competitive in games,
Sure.
all of a sudden they start running the ball. All of a sudden they start stopping the run. They're just executing. The when I tell you what the expectations were this season, literally to be a good NFL team at execution. Not literally good, because good is 7-8 wins.
Yeah, that's wins.
Be smart, be competent, be disciplined,
buttoned up.
executing, and they haven't been any of that.
No.
And that is beyond the wins and losses. That's the worst part. Again, it's not all wins and losses. It's showing improvement. They haven't shown it week to week, and they haven't shown it from last season to this season. He can talk about the wins and losses, but man,
I'll be honest. Some of me thinks whoever was hired would be screwed anyways, because you're following the GOAT expectations. You don't have much in the cupboard.
Yes,
and that's on Belichick.
Yes.
I'm not blaming anyone.
You're right. Okay,
but like, you were probably destined to fail regardless. It's going to be that next coach that's going to hit a grand slam. And then this Jerod Mayo era will be forgotten.
I'm not going to say no matter who. Maybe if a different head coach is brought in, maybe it's a different front office approach. Maybe if a different head coach is brought in, maybe it's a different front office altogether.
Sure.
I would say no. But to your point, no matter who the head coach is would have failed. Again, it's a full structure thing.
Yeah.
If a different head coach came in, would that have been more spending from Robert Kraft? Because that had to happen this offseason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If a different head coach came in, would Elliott Wolf actually gotten a left tackle? Because they would have banged their fist on the table and be like, no, I need an actual left tackle. A head coach with experience that knows, like, you don't mess around swing tackles in the NFL. Left tackles are too valuable.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways. No matter what coach came in, this roster, like you said, was bare. It's a 4-win team.
That's right.
It was a 4-win team. And this team had no business. They shocked the Steelers, and they beat the Broncos, who sucked, but they shouldn't have. Yeah. This could have been a 2-win team easily.
That's right.
So you literally were starting from like ground zero. Injuries, you have to take into account what they've been dealt with. But to me, it's just what we've seen from players after the game, what we've seen in the locker room, what we've seen from the undisciplined football on the field. That's a reflection on coaching. I think a different coach, it could have been a better job, depending on who the coach was.
Yeah, well, listen, I can't wait to unleash George on this subject because KJ Osborn got involved today as well.
my man.
KJ Osborn was asked about the phone celebration by Andrew Callahan of the Herald. And your boy said, oh, no, it's not that I want to be traded and I want to be gone from New England. No. The cell phone thing, that was to call God. I was on the main line to the upper room. I was calling God.
Yep.
I call BS on that one, my friend. That is BS. You were upset that your team got smoked and you want out of here sound.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was. And now you're trying to clean it up. And whenever you need just a nice lifeline or just someone to help you out, you're drowning, you need a floaty or an extended hand to save you. Of course you can call God. Who's going to question you when you say, no. Me acting like I was on the phone wasn't to get traded. I was calling God, baby. No one's going to say, no, you didn't. God told me you didn't call. You can get away with it. And that's exactly why he did it. It wasn't no calling God. He's a liar.
I was calling God. I've done that celebration before. Of course he wants to stay in New England. And the Instagram story, him showing appreciation to a long-time friend support. Bro, that text literally was a line-by-line how your week went. Being told you're inactive Wednesday, getting 3 practice reps all week. Saturday, 11 p.m. at night, being told you're playing a different position because Pop Douglas was sick, which kudos to you, KJ Osborn, and then stepping up. And in that text, it said, we will find a solution to all this. If that's a real friend, they don't post that text. And if it was to show them support, you call them up and go, delete that, put a picture of me, put my stats, but you got to take that down and I'll reshare it. That's not showing support. What's even better is he was asked again if he wants to trade. KJ Osborn said this. It's like an alley-oop. This is where I am. This is a place I signed to be. A lot of things are out of my control, but I would like to be where my feet are. So today, I'm here. So now I'll rock with it as it goes. I'll be with my feet where my feet are. And if my feet end up in Kansas City, I'll love it. But if my feet are still in New England, I'm going to hate it. Like the call, I was rolling my eyes so hard, shaking my effing head. What? If that's a longtime friend, that's a legit friend, and you want to show them support, you tell them to delete that text. They don't post that in the first place. And by the way, that longtime friend is a sports agent. Whether it's your agent or not, he literally is an agent in the NFL.
Yeah, he's got skin in the game.
Wild. That just it's lies.
It is lies.
It's lies.
It's lies.
You know what you do when you're in that conversation when you get asked that? Yeah, of course I want to stay in New England. That's it. Don't say
you don't even address it.
What was the celebration? It's something I've done, but I want to be in New England.
Yeah, right.
Well, what was the Instagram post about? You know what? I want to put that behind again.
Yeah, he
Just
could
be
gloss
an adult.
over it. Yes.
Be a professional.
He could gloss over it. He could gloss over it, or he could own it too. He could be like, "Listen, I was very emotional after the loss. I got to do better." And then it's like, you just move on from that. Mm-hmm. But to lie and to say I was calling God, like, come on, bro. Like, we know that's a lie. And now you lying with God in it. I mean, that's even worse. I wish I was a part of that press junket because I'm gonna tell you right now, I would have some follow-ups. I would say, KJ over here, Travis Thomas Nesson. Just a quick question. What have you done in your career that makes you feel as though you can demand anything from anyone? Thanks. I mean, what have you done besides nothing ever? I mean, KJ Osborn. Like, I almost wish he owned it and just say, you know what? Yeah, get me out of here. Trade me to Kansas City. See ya, buddy. I would drive the U-Haul for you. Because what have you done? Please. I don't want to hear it. And you know what? He'd go to Kansas City and ball out, just like Juju.
He would literally replace that Juju or that Rashee Rice route tree. And then you see what Kayshon Boutte said?
What did he say?
First, he said, I've never been called soft by a coach. I feel like it was a shot at the whole team, but you've got to play harder. We're tired of being 1-6, so I understand where he's coming from. Great.
I'm okay with that.
Then there was a report, Taylor Kyles of CLNS. Boutte said he had to ask for both deep shots he was targeted on the past 2 weeks, which he notes shouldn't have to happen given he hasn't dropped a pass this season.
Oh, my God. Who do these guys think they are?
You know what they are? You know what the Patriots have? They have the most entertaining receiving room in the NFL, but they are redefining entertainment. I got the best hands in the NFL. Proceeds to drop every pass coming his way. No, I wasn't saying someone to call me. I was saying call God as my celebration. And me sharing a text exchange with a sports agent was supporting a lifelong friend, even though he put all the dirty laundry in there. And then the one receiver that is playing well downfield says, yeah, I've asked for both deep shots, and that should not happen because I haven't dropped a pass. But so basically, I'm running the offense.
Bro.
Entertaining, man. I'll take it. I'll take it. I do love it.
Just when I think there's no one more delusional than you and I, it's wide receivers in the NFL for the Patriots, clearly. Now, listen, call us, 617-790-0928. You can also email us at the chat at nesson.com. But call us, 617-790-0928. Leave us a voicemail, your thoughts on the circus that is the New England Patriots. Call us and then call God, like KJ Osborn. All right. Now, we brought up the Chiefs. DeAndre Hopkins, man. I mean, the rich get richer. The Chiefs go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. We knew, speaking of lies, you know, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, all the Chiefs brain trust saying, oh, we're good with our guys. We don't need anyone. We have faith in the guys in the room. And then next thing you know, we have a fifth rounder for DeAndre Hopkins. Can we get that done? We can. Okay, great. Thanks. So they get him. I know he's old here. Fifth rounder. Deal's being finalized, but we know that's going to happen. What are your expectations at this advanced age?
Look, he doesn't have to be prime DeAndre Hopkins.
He's not.
And he's not. He's definitely not because prime DeAndre Hopkins was such a great deep down the field and middle intermediate route receiver.
Great receiver.
He's 32 years old. He's coming off a torn MCL, which he's recovering from this past offseason.
Right.
Speed is in his game, but you don't need that in this Chiefs offense because he's physical, he has strong hands, he wins on the outside, great release, and he has such a big catch radius. Guess what? When you have the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, hey, put it here once the chemistry's down, he's going to be a chain mover. What's important is right now, DeAndre Hopkins is at his best, 10, 15 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Only 7% of Patrick Mahomes' passes this season have been beyond 20 yards downfield.
That's right.
He doesn't have to be prime DeAndre Hopkins. And guess what? He doesn't have to be Rashee Rice because he's not going to fit that role where Rashee Rice is that slant god who can go and be a burner downfield. But just go and be a 11, 12 yards per catch, an elite outside receiver.
He can still do
great hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a vet, be consistent, be sturdy, be professional. And guess what? He's stepping into a scheme that's just going to bring the most out of his talent. Yeah. So he's going to have that immediate impact. What I think is going to be most important is that right now in red zone efficiency, and this is when you get to the red zone, you score a touchdown, the Chiefs rank 25th in the NFL. They have a great kicker. They can rely on him. But you get in the red zone, boom. This is when he's going to make a huge difference. He'll get you first downs. He'll be reliable on the outside. He's going to help them out to finish drives, especially in the red zone. And it's to the point now, which is crazy to say, this offense needs to make sure they don't let this defense down when it comes to getting that third straight Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's well said. He's also very clutch.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about the sure-handedness, but there's been multiple games, more so from the Arizona days when he was in playoffs, when he did matter.
Yeah.
Since he's gone to Tennessee, nothing's mattered.
And let's say, I mean, when he was in Tennessee, the quarterback situation.
Well, right. True. But I'm just saying, like, the times we've seen him on big stages, he'll make the plays when you need it.
And he still looked like he had to work his way back this season because of the MCL that he's dealing with. And again, when he was on the field last year, it was a Ryan Tannehill who was washed, or a Will Levis. And then this year it was Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. Like, not a lot to work with in an offense that just isn't working as well. What did Juju Smith-Schuster do there, man?
Right.
I said it to you.
You did.
Going to training camp, he can't catch, he can't get open, and in the worst wide receiver room in the NFL, he's going to get cut, and he did. And he was literally game-changing for the Chiefs in certain games. So that's a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid effect, but DeAndre Hopkins is such a massive upgrade. And by the way, for them to only give up a fifth,
that's crazy.
It could become a fourth if they win the Super Bowl and he plays a certain amount of snaps.
But still, even if it becomes a fourth, fine.
Nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's what it's what great organizations do. They didn't panic. Remember, everyone had, Devontae Adams. They should try and get him, as if the Raiders would ever do that. They didn't panic. They're not worried about that. They wait and they make it happen. They hit the scrap heap and find a really good player who I think at this stage of his career too, George, he deserves to win. He's been on enough losers.
I've loved DeAndre Hopkins.
I do too. I'm a big fan.
When he was coming out of Clemson, I wanted the Patriots to get him, but I remember the Texans were picking ahead, and they ended up getting him, of course.
Who'd the Patriots take in that draft? That wasn't the N'Keal Harry, was it?
No.
Because every good receiver ever was in that draft.
No.
I bet they took somebody they had no business taking. Although, look, I can't go that hard on Bill. Some of these picks have worked, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Well, I'll filibuster while you look that up. But I tell you what, he deserves at this point an opportunity to win, and he's going to do just that with Kansas City. I don't know if this puts them in the category, in my book, for being a 3-time champ. I'm not willing to go there yet. I'm still betting against the Chiefs, and this is, it's futile, but I'm betting against the Chiefs when it counts once we get to the playoffs. I have seen enough now from the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar playing the way he is, assuming Derrick Henry's still healthy. I would like to see the Ravens get another shot at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
In this postseason, they may get it done. I also love what I've seen so far from the Texans. And I know they're young, and people are like, well, I don't know if they're there yet. I would like to see that matchup as well in the playoffs. I think that's a team that could possibly give Mahomes a run for his money. And then, by the way, we're talking about veteran wide receivers going with these star quarterbacks. DeAndre Hopkins goes with Mahomes. How about Amari Cooper with Josh Allen? I mean, maybe the Bills now with a solid running game, maybe they get another shot. So I'm going to be betting against the Chiefs. I'm not willing to say DeAndre Hopkins puts them over that hump in my mind of them three-peating, but he doesn't hurt because Lord knows it was an area of need.
I already liked them to three-peat before they traded for him just because of the defense. But this gives me a lot more faith in the offense.
Sure.
2013 draft, Patriots are picking 29th overall.
All right.
And so after DeAndre Hopkins was taken 27th by the Texans, Patriots traded back out of the first round. Took Jamie Collins in the second round. They also got Deron Harmon and Logan Ryan as well. Those are good defensive
DeAndre
backs.
Hopkins, though.
Travis Kelce, 63rd overall.
Come on.
Of that same draft. I know, that's when it gets funny. They could have had Travis Frederick. Now, this is 2013, but you would have
one of the best lineman, right?
Yeah, one of the best centers to ever play the game.
Yep.
You could have had him in front of Tom Brady. I'm not going to draw back to who the Patriots center was in 2013.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, they could have had. He was picked 48th.
Wow.
Yeah, Travis Kelce, Tyrann Mathieu, 69th, when he should have been a first-round pick. So
yeah, well, Honey Badger had some issues. I think that's why he dropped.
It was
that's crazy.
It was cannabis. It's nothing. It was.
It's LSU.
I went through the Rolodex in my head. No, I mean it's
you don't
legal
go to
now.
LSU for school. You don't go to play school.
Football.
You go to play football.
And I mean, I'll say it like it's not a big deal if a professional athlete or anybody, doctors, lawyers, podcasters, and you can drug test me right now. It'd probably come up clean anyway. But like, you enjoy weed, like, good on you. You know what? That's it.
Y'all drug test him.
I mean, you could go ahead. It's
don't come
in Massachusetts.
And listen, don't come anywhere near me.
Though,
now,
I would be interested what comes up because it'd be like, why? Like high percentage of chia seed intake
in your test?
Yeah. It'd be like chia seeds, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, probably
lentils.
Don't get anywhere near me.
Turkey.
Don't get anywhere near me. All right, now.
This is a ploy. Sting up. I want you to stop interrupting me on podcasts.
If you don't stop interrupting me, you got to pee in this cup. Damn it. Damn it, George. You got me.
I remember. Was it first job out of college? Yeah, first job out of college.
He tested you?
No, so again, like I don't like smoke weed or take edibles that much. I really don't. I swear to God.
Much.
I swear to God. Like it's not that often. It's like an every week thing. Gosh. And I remember, so I stopped like when I was applying for jobs.
Yeah.
And I get accepted for a job in Joplin, Missouri.
Yeah.
I'm like, awesome. And I'm on the phone with them and I'm like, all right, so when is a drug test? And they're like, oh, we're old school. We don't do that. AKA, we're cheap. We're not going to drug test you. And I was like, all right, 6 months for nothing.
Yes.
6 months.
Oh, yeah, you did. You preemptively gave it up. This is how I know, like, you're a better person than me. So not only were you willing to go through the process before you ever even brought that up.
Yeah.
But, like, you had already committed for 6 months.
Yeah.
Me, from the onset.
Yeah.
It's like first date questions. Like, so, you guys drug test here or no? Okay. Why? What do you? No, I was just asking. I'm just asking.
Just wanted to know if I had to drink more water a certain day.
I
or
get
not.
it from the beginning. I like off the rip. Like, y'all drug test here? You don't? Okay, cool. Oh, you do? All right. No, it won't be a problem. And then I never call back. Ghost.
We found high traces of beaver tranquilizer. God damn it, Bernice.
Bernice.
Dodgeball.
I love it. Let's see if we can dodge a wrench. All right, let's go to Thursday Night Football. Are you excited about this game at all? Vikings at Rams.
No, because the Rams suck. I'm not.
Thank you and good night.
The Rams are dead, but they could be sellers. And let's think about like everything that's going around this. So Cooper Kupp sounds like he'll play.
Yep.
And he was returning from his ankle injury, ended up not playing when he tested it pregame against the Raiders.
Right.
Rams won anyway.
Yep.
But for teams that are buyers and sellers, Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford's names have come up.
Yep.
Now, and what people are saying is, well, there could be a quarterback swap. Sam Darnold for Matt Stafford straight up. I don't think that's actually going to happen this week. But it's interesting because the Vikings, in my opinion, they need that guy at quarterback. Look.
Not a Darnold guy, are you?
Look. They have the offensive line. They obviously have the best receiver in the game. They have the run game that supports, and they have a defense that's insane. So they can go to Darnold 3-4 times a game and say, you need to make this throw, and he does. Mm-hmm. But against the Lions, I believe when they were down, I forget what, it was his second pass attempt all season, trailing. Matt Stafford's proven. Again, you have the defense. Let me go through the construction of this first.
Okay.
You have the head coach and the offensive coordinator in Kevin O'Connell. You have the defense and the defensive coordinator in Brian Flores before he'll get a job. You have Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw. You have the run game. This defense is top 5 in the NFL. The offense is taken care of. What's missing? A quarterback you can rely on. What does Matt Stafford need? An offensive line that can protect him. Well, the Vikings have one of the best pass blocking offensive lines. They have a run game that can help them. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They'll get TJ Hawkinson back. Oh, and by the way, Trav, Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Vikings, Sean McVay coaching tree. Yeah. So he doesn't have to learn a new system. He would literally, if he was traded Wednesday night, he could play for the Vikings Thursday night. And for Matt Stafford, go get another ring. The Vikings need to make this trade. Send a first, get Matt Stafford, and a 4th rounder back from the Rams, throw in Sam Darnold, or you could keep Sam Darnold for insurance, but that's going all in right now.
Yeah.
While you locked up Justin Jefferson, but before you have to pay a lot of this roster, and this is an older secondary. This is a team with the Danielle Hunter signing. They're going now on the pass rush.
Flores is going to get a job.
The timing is now for them. And on top of that, you go get Stafford.
Right.
Before the Lions go and add an elite pass rusher.
Right.
You just lost to them, but when you meet them in the playoffs, Stafford's proven he's played in the big games. He's played in the big moments. He knows the system. I think the Vikings need to trade for Matt Stafford.
Whew, there's a lot to unpack there. As you were talking, I understood the vision. I got it clearly.
Yeah.
Vikings should go all in now. And in a wide open NFC, it's hard to disagree with that. I guess where I'm having an issue is just big picture thinking. I don't want to be so short-sighted. In other words, if I'm a Vikings fan, let me look at it from their perspective for a second. We just moved up in the draft, traded up to draft this kid, J.J. McCarthy, who we still don't know if he's any good or not, right? I mean, yes, we have the best wide receiver in the game. Everything you said is true. But this is the kid for the future, we think.
Okay.
So why would I go out give up assets to get a Matt Stafford as a rental. Like it almost feels like you're in the prime of your career and you're cashing out your 401k to go on trips and buy cars. Okay, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But like when you're an old fart, you're going to be out on the streets. That's how I feel with this. Is why would you go get Stafford now to try and win now?
Because this defense is playing at this level right now.
I get it.
And
I do get it.
The secondary is led by Harrison Smith and Stephon Gilmore.
I don't want you to think I don't understand. I do understand.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, for what?
And
like,
then,
okay, so if you don't win the Super Bowl, which is look, you're likely going to make the playoffs with Sam Darnold anyways. I understand the mentality of Stafford gives us a better chance once we get to said playoffs, but that's no guarantee with the way this guy gets banged up. I almost think Darnold's more dependable. Not better, but more dependable.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess if you win a Super Bowl, of course it makes sense. But even the Rams, think about the Rams when they made the move for Stafford.
Yeah.
It was very similar in that they were a veteran team and they went for it, and they thought they went as far as they could with Jared Goff. You haven't even given J.J. McCarthy a chance to be Jared Goff yet.
And then
that's my issue.
But when J.J. McCarthy gets to be Jared Goff, that'll be next season or the season after. And you'll have 2 years of cost control left with him.
I don't know.
And you'll have the rest of his career. And Matt Stafford will probably be like retired by then.
Yeah, he doesn't have long, but
So
he's definitely going to bleed into next year.
It's totally a rental. He's a 2-year plan.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Okay, so awesome. J.J. McCarthy in year 3 plays? Great.
He should be back next year.
This defense, right? Yeah, but you're playing Matt Stafford.
But you don't know what you have.
If you have Stafford and J.J. McCarthy on the same roster, you're playing Matt Stafford.
I agree with that.
This defense, that's why. Who thought this defense would play at this level?
No one.
Exactly. The offense we expected. Christian Darrisaw, one of the best tackles in the game. Justin Jefferson, the best receiver.
He is.
Aaron Jones, when healthy, great, dynamic weapon.
Fantastic.
Going to get Hawkinson back.
Yeah.
And again, the play calling's not going anywhere.
Right.
But this is such a win now move because you have every single piece except the quarterback you can depend on when the lights get brightest.
Yep.
And then it's, well, why would you trade for a quarterback? He's got to learn the system. He doesn't have to. It's the same system. It is the same exact system.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is a fascinating topic.
All in right now because the NFC is open.
It is. It's
right?
wide open.
So Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson. Let's see what they can do. They're great.
Yeah.
Niners, I don't know if they ever get healthy.
Nah.
Eagles, I don't think they're ever going to get
Packers, something's off.
Buccaneers just lost their best receiver, and they lost Evans for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Packers, a good team. You need that quarterback. Mm-hmm. The defense is going to keep you in it. You need that quarterback to make the plays in the biggest moments. Matt Stafford has been doing that his whole career. You're banking a lot on Darnold. And again, it goes in right now. And you know what? If it gets you a Super Bowl, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is worth it.
I don't know. I feel weird saying that Sam Darnold is more dependable than Matthew Stafford at this stage of his career.
Maybe.
But I really feel that way.
Health, maybe.
Like, I'm not saying he's better because he's not. But in a wide open, I'll be honest, and maybe I'm boring, but like in a wide open NFC, Darnold's been playing pretty well this season. I'm gonna ride this out. In fact, for this game, I think I'm gonna take the Rams at home here.
What?
Yeah, you know why? Here's another reason I think I disagree with you deep down about the Stafford to the Vikings thing. If I'm the Rams, I'm not out of this. Like, it's not over. First of all, the division, like, the Seahawks are leading the division right now. Do you trust them? How's no sound? Mm-hmm. The Niners, you just said, will they ever get healthy? The Cardinals, you definitely can't trust them. Kyler Murray can put up numbers, but he's not a winner. If I'm the Rams, I'm like, listen, I'm staying the course because we have a veteran team. We've proven before we've got off to slow starts and figured it out and rallied and made playoffs. If I'm the Rams, I'm not punting on the season. They're at home here. I'm going to roll with the Rams. I think the Rams win this game.
I think it's time for them to hit the reset button. They need to, with how much older Stafford is, Cooper Kupp on the back nine. They're always injured. Get the draft picks. You have the head coach in Sean McVay. I'm going to roll with the Vikings because they're laying like less than a field goal right now. And
it's a good number.
Matthew Stafford's passer rating when under pressure drops from 98 to 42. His completion percentage goes from 74% completion percentage to 45% under pressure. Yeah. Jared Goff has pressured 58% of his dropbacks last week. The Rams have a bottom 10 offensive line. The Vikings have a top 10 pass rush. Stafford's going to be under hell. The Rams' best part of their offense is their run game. The Vikings have a top 5 run D. Kyron Williams is spectacular. I love him. But I'm just going to lay the points. This is such a fishy line to me, though. Like, Mike, I'm looking at this and I go, how is this not more than a field goal? But I think it's the Sean McVay against his disciple bump.
You're damn right.
Sean McVay taking on Kevin O'Connell. This should be 3.5 minimum. Vikings are laying. As long as I get it below 2 field goals, I'm going to lay the points. I'm rolling with the Vikings.
I love
on the road in SoFi.
I love when we disagree because I look at things completely different. You look at that number and think this should be way higher for the Vikings, and I'll lay the points and whatever. I look at it as Vegas knows. I'm going to go Rams here on the money line. I'm going to go 24-21 Rams. And by the way, it's going to make life really tough around Minnesota after this game because I think Stafford will lead them to the game-winning drive. I think we go walk off.
And everyone's going to with their pitchforks. Trade for him. Trade for Stafford.
Yep. Do they talk like that in Minnesota?
No.
Don't you know we should trade for?
Hey, how you doing?
Don't you know?
No, they're not Canadian.
No, that's Canadian. They say, don't you know, right?
Matt Stafford.
There it is.
There, it took a while.
There it is. You lived out there. You're not Minnesota, but Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's
close enough.
Accent.
They say instead of soda, they say pop. Instead of dinner, they say supper.
Instead of water fountains, bubbler.
Bubbler. 24-21 Rams. Give me your score.
The Rams barely got by the Raiders.
But they did.
And the Vikings coming off a loss in a shootout against the Lions.
It's not over for the Rams,
coming off
man.
a loss.
You are prematurely putting the Rams.
Taking Vikings.
All right, give me a score.
The Rams haven't been good.
Give me a score.
Have they broken 20 points? Maybe they've broken 20 points once this season against the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They're all 20s. You're right.
Well, what was the final score against the 49ers?
All their Niners was 27-24, which is what I just
the one time they broke 20. I give this.
Yeah, they're all like 20s.
The Vikings are just so much better on both sides of the ball. And this Rams defense isn't any good. Like their weakness especially is in the secondary.
Close game, blowout. Damn.
31-14.
Oh, Lord.
Vikings win.
Okay. I will concede this before we move on. If that happens, trade.
31.
It's over.
Exactly.
If that happens,
I think they're at that point.
If that happens, you got to move on.
They look like crap against the Raiders. They look like crap.
Because my whole premise is, why would you punt now? Your division's awful. Go for it. Just dance with who you came with.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you're right and they get blown out by the Vikes tonight, then, okay, I'm with you.
And real quick, the Rams let up some of the longest receptions on average per game.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think their average allow per completion is like 11, 12 yards. Good luck going against Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
The run defense stinks. I like Aaron Jones, 70-plus rushing yards. Okay. You can get down DraftKings, -105. Maybe you sprinkle to the 80-plus.
Yep.
Short week. He's been dealing with the hamstring.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to get greedy, but I like him 70-plus rushing yards, -105.
More football talk on Foxborough Rush, available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever else you get your podcasts. And for all of our best content of the day in general, make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, IG, YouTube, and TikTok. We're everywhere, like air, all over the place, like space. All right, let's end it here. The NBA is investigating, the 76ers surrounding the player participation of Joel Embiid.
Nuts.
So we know not playing in the opener, which is a head scratcher to me, George, because last seen, he was winning a gold medal.
Yep.
He was playing well. I apologized to him on air because he looked so good. I mean, what's it been, a month and some change since the Olympics? Mm-hmm. What you been doing, bro? Like, what am I missing? You were healthy. You were playing well. You got the gold. And then what? You didn't get hurt. Like, what's going on?
He's dealing with the same knee issue now he's dealing with then.
Please.
He's playing 17 minutes a night in the Olympics.
Now, the 76ers said that, this is the plan, right?
Yep.
He's not going to play back-to-backs for the rest of time, and we're going to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. I don't have a problem with any of that. In fact, I think it's a smart game plan.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the opener. Like what are we doing? Like, people pay good money to watch these guys play. at least in the opener, you gotta suit up, bro. Like, maybe you're on a pitch count, minutes restriction or something, but come on, dog. You're not gonna play in the opener, really?
Didn't play
That's
all
lame.
preseason. I think he's ruled out all 3 of their first games.
Yeah, right. And he didn't play in the preseason at all.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I am someone that says Joel Embiid should not play more than 50 games this season because they have to go all in for the playoffs with him and Paul George.
No
Daryl
problem.
Morey said the same. He's like, we got to be strategic. We got to be periodic with their time off. Neither of them will play any back-to-backs. They're going to miss one leg of each. All right, so you're like completely sailing on both those games.
Yes.
This investigation is hilarious, though, because it totally is the 76ers just catering to Joel Embiid being a soft superstar. He's one of the most talented players in the world, but he doesn't want to play basketball. He said it himself. I'm not going to play back-to-backs probably ever again. And what does this say to the rest of the team? If I'm Tyrese Maxey, it's like, so I got to play all 82 games. I got paid, but I got to play all 82 just because I've been healthy. I'm being penalized because I'm healthy. Paul George and Joel Embiid don't have to do the same. It's so weird how they're going about this. So I say it. I'm coming out both sides of my neck, though, because I say the Sixers shouldn't play Joel Embiid. But if the NBA steps in, if he's healthy, he has to play. It makes sense.
Yeah, like the first week of the season. You can't play a couple games. Like, it's not.
That I get.
I just, even from the Sixers standpoint, although you and I agree, like, yes, you want him healthy for the playoffs. You need to be smart about it. You can put a guy on minutes restrictions. Like, I don't think it's a big deal to go into a game and say, like, hey, the big man tonight's only going to play X amount of minutes. And then if it's a close game down the stretch and you lose and he's not in the game, let all the loudmouths in Philly fight over that for their sports talk shows like we do. Like, that's their problem. But this whole, like, well, we're just not going to play him. To start the season, like the first full week of the season, you're not going to play the guy? Come on, man. Like, you're insulting, I think it's insulting to the people that pay these high-ass ticket prices, whether it's home or road, right? Like, when you go to an opposing team or when you go watch an opposing team, a lot of times you want to see their best player.
Yeah.
If I'm going to the Garden to watch a Sixers-Celtic game, I want to see Embiid play. I want to see Paul George play. So now you're telling me you're robbing me. Like, I'm not even going to get to see. And by the way, that's in Boston. We're fortunate. What if you're in just a basketball wasteland like the Wizards or something? Like, you're going to that game to see Joel Embiid, right? You're not going to watch those losers. You're not going to see Jordan Poole. You're going to see Joel Embiid.
It's a disservice to the game, too.
That's what I'm saying.
By him doing this. I'm so hypocritical, though, because I don't think he should play in the regular season.
We both understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the way I think you can do this on a minutes restriction is what I'm saying.
More look at minutes and games played. He's also lost like 20 or 30 pounds this offseason, too, to hope to stay healthier. All right, so you did it. Go play now. Think about since like May, June, it's been like for Joel Embiid. Foul baiting against the Knicks, literally shooting threes.
That's right.
And crying to the ref that he got fouled when he didn't.
Yeah. Didn't he hurt a guy?
Taking out Mitchell Robinson's leg.
I remember that.
It's Mitchell Robinson. It's not Jokic. You can't beat Mitchell Robinson healthy? Like, soft as hell. Then when he's doing interviews before the NBA Finals and they're asked, how are you going to stop the Celtics? He goes, well, the second apron's coming, so, they can't keep these teams all together. What a soft answer. You should say, I'm going to stop them, and I'm going to figure it out this offseason. Then he plays in the Olympics. And then now he's going, I'll never play a back-to-back ever again.
The Joel Embiid is crazy.
Just soft.
Like the Joel Embiid.
It's just soft.
I'm
done with, like, the foul baiting was so bad.
Yeah.
He looked so bad doing that.
He looked bad early in the Olympics, too, remember?
But
eventually he figured it out.
I don't mean his game. Like, he looked bad. Like, you look like a joke.
Looked bad.
You look like a joke to call yourself a superstar.
Facts.
The fact that you're a top 5 player in the league and you're crying and you're going dirty against the Knicks who are banged up, he's looked like a joke all offseason. And this sucks to see. He was like, I'll probably never play in a back-to-back again. Bro, it's, as Kevin Garnett said it beautifully, it's the effing job.
It's a job.
Play 82 games.
Well, also, do you love the game?
Yeah.
Like, my thing is,
Great
bro,
question.
when I'm not here with you, and we've texted about this, when I'm not here, I hate it. Like, I hate not being here doing shows with you. I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's the love of the game. Mm-hmm. When you're not here, you're constantly texting me. we like the action. We like that. We like what we do, right? And with Joel Embiid, I look at this stuff. It was the same thing with Ben Simmons too. I was questioning of like, do you really love the game?
Yeah. Because
if you love the game, bro, like I wasn't even good at sports, and I sacrificed my body. I didn't give a damn because I loved playing sports that much.
Yeah.
You're Joel Embiid. Your entire championship aspirations in that city for that franchise that's on your back.
Yeah.
That ain't on Paul George or Tyrese Maxey or Kelly Oubre or any of them. It's on you. And don't you like wear that proudly? Like I would. You're letting your entire franchise, your teammates, and your city down with this softness. Mm-hmm. It is terrible for the game. It's terrible for him and his brand. And it's terrible for – look, I don't like Philly as much as the next guy.
But you give your all there?
But that you have to. That's why they like – Bryce Harper hasn't won a damn thing there since he arrived.
They love him because he shows up every damn day.
That's it.
Tore up his elbow. He's like, I'll just be a DH.
Bro,
I'll play
Rocky's
first.
Not even a real thing.
And they built
got
a statue. Yeah.
Like you – Joel, man, you're in the wrong city for that. You need to go to Utah or something.
Nick Foles has a statue, a backup quarterback.
That is right.
Because he stepped up, he showed up, and he executed, and he brought that city a ring.
Hey, man.
It's been, bro, like, shots of him eating a hamburger right before a game. It's like his diet was never there. Whoever's his circle, man, the people that guide him, bad advice all throughout his career. And it sucks because we got robbed of what could have been a great career.
Well, we didn't rob you all. Thank you for rolling with us here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. For Travis Thomas and George Malecki here inside the PNC Bank studio, we thank you, and we'll see you next time when we enter the chat again. So let us in. Peace.
Later.